First of all, how did the move to Seattle come about?
Basically, I just had a email and a phone call from Laura Harvey, who's obviously the manager at Seattle, a few weeks ago when we were on our way to Greece. So we just went from there then.
Is it something you're, I would imagine, very excited about?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that going to America to play in a fully pro league is probably one of the biggest moves you can get. So yeah, I'm really excited.
In terms of, was it a difficult decision to make? It's not just about changing a club, is it? It's changing, I suppose, the way you live and miles away from home.
Yeah, I think from a football perspective, I think it was relatively something that I definitely wanted to do. But it was difficult leaving Bristol. Obviously, Bristol have been so good to me, and what they're doing and their vision is a good one. And I've had a really good 2 years there. So leaving Bristol was a difficult decision, but I think that going to America and experiencing that is something that you just really can't turn down, regardless of it being miles away and different. I think the experience is going to be a great one.
I mean, in terms of the season, the year that's just gone, you received a fantastic accolade from your fellow players. In terms of, you seem to be a player who thrives on challenges. You don't want to stay somewhere static too long. Is that true?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, there's obviously things that you have to want to achieve, and you just have to work hard for that. I have moved about a bit. That that goes without saying, but I think each one that I've made has been for a footballing reason and a developing reason for myself as a player. Whereas I think this one is to now I'm playing with the best players in the world, and I just want to kind of put myself up against that now after years of experiencing and developing in Holland and in the WSL.
I mean, the women's game is a massive profile in the United States, a successful national side, big crowds. They have had problems sometimes with the league. I mean, what do you know about Seattle itself, about, I mean, obviously the team, the city, but also about the structure of the league you'll be playing?
I think the structure is, like you said, is a new one. They need to make it a lot more sustainable than it has been in recent years. And I think that the steps that they're taking now with the new structure of this one will prove the difference between it folding and not folding. I know, I've read a little bit about Seattle, and I know that they've got a great men's side that gets great supporters, and I've heard the fans that they get are top notch. They've got a stadium of about 5,000, I think, that they expect to be fully sold out to every game, and I think that in itself is just levels above here or above anywhere in Europe. To get the fan base like that is incredible.
In terms of the experiences that you're gathering, I mean, in Bristol, but Holland now, United States, is that something you feel will benefit you in the future when you come back to Wales or Britain, that it's something that you can give back to the game, experiences you're getting now, in terms of the way the game is run and structured? Yeah,
absolutely. I think that going and playing in different countries and getting a different culture of the way the football is played, I mean, you're only ever going to gain things from that. You're never going to get negative responses from that. I've played in Holland, played in WSL, played in Australia, and now I go to America. There's only pluses of that, going to Australia and playing with their national team players and the training every day over there. You only gain from that, and I eventually at the end of my career, I'm pretty sure that I will look back and just be very lucky to have been able to have done this kind of thing.
Will this move in any way affect your commitment to Wales? Does it affect?
Absolutely not. I think that Yarmo and everyone who has any kind of dealings with me on a football level completely know that Wales is the number one for me. It always has been, and it always will be. And I'm still fully committed to what we want to achieve and our dreams. And wherever I go and play my domestic football, it will never impact my international commitments.
In terms of what you're doing now, do you see many players wanting to follow you in terms of going over to America?
I don't know whether it'll be the case of them wanting to follow. I think what it'll do is it'll just maybe open people's eyes to realise that that there is a different world out there. There's so many leagues now in women's football where you can get so many benefits from it, and I hope that it'll just make a lot of people see that and get a little bit of inspiration that, you know, you can do these things through women's football, absolutely. And, you know, women's football in Wales is getting better, and there's a lot more support now towards it. You know, if we can just keep doing that, and, you know, you can see the end product that, you know, I'm captain of my country and I'm going off doing all these things through football. I mean, there's only a positive in that.
And the big positive this year is the UEFA Women's Under-19 tournament being hosted in Wales, which hopefully will inspire and show a way into the game as well for many more. In terms of, this has been the inaugural season as well as the Welsh League, the Women's League. I mean, how important a step do you think that has been really in terms of the Premier League for the women's game in Wales?
Yeah, I think it's a massive step. It's something that, you know, it's a proud moment for any Welsh player and person who's got anything to do with women's football when we have a league that goes national, absolutely. And, you know, we have the structure now to build on that, and hopefully the players that take part in this will be the future of Welsh football. You know, it will take time, absolutely. You know, it's just been set up. So I think we all understand that it's going to take time for it to really blossom. But the fact that it's taken its first step, and you've got clubs that are willing to put a lot of effort into it, is massive, and it's really, really good. And like you said, you know, I'm really proud that it's happened.
I suppose whether men's or women's, the only difference between America and Wales is in Wales 5 hours on a bus, in America 5 hours on a plane getting from
Well, I will be getting my emails, don't you worry.
Well, wish you all the best, and I hope it's a very successful move for you. Thanks a lot, Jess.
Thank you very much. Thank you.